Hey, is this where we come to get the free medical care? As a sharecropper from Alabama, I ain't never had no medical care before. Yeah, you're in the right place. This is where the free medical care is. Why don't you just step right up and we'll get started. Before we get started, why is this shit free? Well, this is a government-funded public health program intended to give medical care to those who deserve it the most but can't really afford it. All we gotta do is draw some blood and then we'll test it for any illnesses you may have, and if we find anything, we'll give you treatment for it. All right then, go ahead and take my blood. Let me just take a little bit right there and I'm gonna give this to my assistant to test it. Oh, we got the test results back on your blood and, ooh, this doesn't look too good. It looks like you have bad blood. Bad blood? What that is? It's a thing, it's a real thing, but it's treatable. We just gotta give you some pills and tonics to help you take care of it. All we ask is that you come back here every week so we can track your progress, make sure everything's going okay. I then bet. I'll be back next week. Sir, I've never heard of bad blood before. What exactly is that? Didn't you go to medical school? Yeah, I went to medical school. Well, if you were paying attention there, you would know there's no fucking such thing as bad blood. That man doesn't have bad blood, he has syphilis. Holy shit, that's a pretty serious sexually transmitted disease. Yeah, and it's not even one of the fun ones. I've caught my fair share of STIs back in France during the Great War. One night I caught some shit that'll make you clap. But of course, my illness subsided. That man we just saw won't be as lucky. But you didn't tell that man he had syphilis, you told him he had bad blood. Why didn't you tell him the truth? Well, if I had told him that, that would compromise this entire experiment. What experiment? We're conducting a top secret medical experiment about syphilis for the United States government. You see, we believe that syphilis affects black men differently from how it affects white men. In black men, we believe syphilis mostly attacks the cardiovascular system, but in white men, we believe it attacks the central nervous system. And in order to properly test this hypothesis, we have to gather up a bunch of black men here in Alabama with syphilis and then track how the disease progresses in them over time. You're trying to figure out if syphilis affects black men differently from how it affects white men, but they're both still human beings. Why would it affect black men differently just because they have more melanin in their skin? Well, somebody fell asleep during eugenics class. But if the point is to compare the two races, then what about the control group? Shouldn't we also be testing a bunch of white men with syphilis as well? We can't conduct inhumane experiments on white men with syphilis without telling them they have the disease. That would be highly inappropriate. Okay, so do we plan on giving any actual treatment to the hundreds of black men in this study? Well, if we gave them treatment, we wouldn't be able to properly track the disease now, would we? But what if these men start dying from syphilis? I mean, once they die, we can do an autopsy on them and get even more specific findings on how the disease really works. Yeah, this all sounds pretty fucked up and unscientific. And I think it's gonna sow the seeds of mistrust within the black community when it comes to the public health sector for generations to come. That's only if they find out, and they're not gonna find out. I mean, you're not gonna tell them, right? Right?